Okay, hi guys. So this is a short video that we're going to work on working out our core in general, specifically the abdominals and the connection with the hip. And we're going to do it more as a kind of fundamental to beginner exercises for that. So what we'll do is we'll go onto our backs and we'll look at the way we're setting up for our back and how to feed into position on stabilising the pelvis. And we're going to do this with the exercises today. So we want to make sure we've got the knees bent into what we call an A-frame position with the big toe and the heel flat to the floor and connected. And we're going to bring ourselves down. Now, if you need a block or a cushion underneath the head, then we can get that. Now, if we make sure that the ribs are anchored, so as we breathe in through the nose and exhale through the mouth, we get good connection into the back of the ribs. So you can get feedback on the mat there. And then just work the pelvis in position, possibly with a slight imprint with the lower back, and that will give you a good feedback into when we start to move with the leg and the hip, okay, that we're not actually working the pelvis, we're actually stabilizing the lower back and the connection to the pelvis, okay? So as we breathe in, we're breathing into the back of the ribs. Now, core engagement here is the belly button drawing into spine, squeezing the glutes, the bum, lifting up through pelvic floor, but also wrapping the spine again. As we breathe in, we're connecting the muscles and engaging through. We're looking for about a good 30% tension, and you can do it in stages with a 10th notch on the belt to halfway and then a third notch. And we're just finding that connection. Now, once we've got that, if we breathe in and exhale, breathe in again, and exhale. What we're going to do is we're going to breathe in and lift the right knee up into tabletop position, and we're looking to have the knee directly in line with the hip. Exhale, slowly lower. Tap, same again. Inhale. Now what we're looking for is keeping the hips balanced. So when we're lifting, we're not rocking over and so on. We're stabilising and working a good lift. Exhale, slow. Now it needs to be made slow. So we breathe in to lift, exhale, back down. Try not to allow the knee to drop and work the leg like this. You work from the hip, inhale, exhale, back down. Inhale, exhale. Now we're looking at roughly 6 or 8 and then on to the opposite side. Inhale, exhale. Feel how we're keeping connection, belly button in, pelvis stable, working the movement of the hip to lift and the glutes switch on to lower, so it's controlled. We breathe in, exhale, lower. So we're keeping some good relationships in with the hip and the pelvis and the core and the lower spine in the sense of movement while stabilising the position. Okay, really strengthening to work those areas, a good hip strength there and back down. Now we'll do one more. So again, we're still looking for roughly 6 or 8 and then we're going to bring it forward. So then we're going to lengthen the right leg long, okay, and we're going to start to work with a lift, and we're going to work the same way. We're going to breathe in to lift, exhale, lower. And what I did there is I flexed the ankle to incorporate a nice stretch and movement into the hamstrings. Now we don't have to do that. We come up and lower. And we breathe in to flex the ankle. Exhale, lift. Inhale, go long through the ankle and the leg. Exhale, lower. So we're working good core strength and connection, but we're not trying to allow the hips to dip over. We must be drawing the belly button in. And if there's a struggle with this one, you can soften the knee a little bit as well. And we're keeping a good position. Just find what works best. We're aiming to get the leg as high and in line with the hip as possible. Pressing the foot and the toe and the heel, the opposite leg into the floor, keeping the hips level, so we're squeezing the bum. Again, 6 or 8, and we can move forward with the numbers as we improve. Okay, we can start to work with more flow, We can even breathe in and lift, exhale and lower. Now we're going to change to the other side and work that other side. So we're working a nice connection with the back of the leg down into the hip and the lower back. Working, strengthening with breath. So feel the ribs anchor and keep into the back of the mat. And hopefully this is going to give you a few tips on how we can really concentrate and control those coordinated connections with the body as we move. Okay, nice and steady. We will combine the last two together soon. We're just going to keep that nice and steady, making sure we're nice and even on each side without rocking. Now make sure that belly button's pulling in and we're keeping that slight imprint if we need to. Okay, nice and steady with the ankle lift. I'm just going to work a good stretch there. Just going to do one more just to see it through. Remember, it's 6 or 8, or increase the numbers as we improve. Drawing the belly button in. Now we're going to work with the right leg in tabletop this time. So we're going to breathe in, exhale, lengthen that leg long. Okay, inhale in. Now we're looking to get the knee in towards chest to stretch out the hip, but without moving the pelvis, so keep control. Exhale, lengthen away. So we're working a really long leg in line with the opposite leg. Exhale long, inhale in. Keeping balance, using our core, keeping the belly button drawing in. Now we'll do one more, then we'll go to the opposite side. Breathe in, lift, exhale long. Knee draws in, keep the pelvis and ribs down, keeping position. Working a nice long, lengthened leg. Tighten round, belly button in. Exhale long. Good, one more, breathe in, exhale long, squeeze, in and back down. Now we're going to start to work a different exercise, so we're going to work with a little bit of heel sliding, okay? Now we're going to breathe in, exhale, just lift off the floor slightly with that right leg and press, tap, lift and draw back. Okay, same leg, get used to it, squeeze and back in. Drawing in that belly button, working hard to keep balance with the body, slow and controlled. Exhale, tap, inhale. Exhale long, keeping hips balanced, keeping steady with the movement and that core connection. Abdominals are going to want to work hard here to really keep the pelvis and lower spine in position. Now, opposite leg. Good, nice and steady. Exhale long, inhale in. Now try and keep it an inch or two off the floor if we can. If you've got a slidey floor, brilliant. You can actually slide on with the socks along the floor, or if you've got a towel under the foot, you can do that. So we're keeping a nice connection. Nice beginner exercise just to work with the hip and core stability, okay? Working that body nice and steady. I'm going to do one more. Again, I think 8 or 10 is really good on each leg for this one. And then we're going to start to work those movements in a lovely flowing exercise called like a bicycle. So we're going to breathe in, lift knee in, exhale. Breathe in and work that leg as high up to the ceiling as possible. As if when you lower, it's like you're painting the back wall. You've got a nice stroke through the leg and the hip. Good connection when we're not rocking again. It's great hip and core work. Okay, glutes are working on lowering the leg to control the leg. So feel the squeeze. Finding that low position where you're in full hip extension. Now if you have any problems with the hip, maybe soften the knee, don't go as low before you come in. So you can make it smaller to aid you with this one, okay? But if fundamentally we're trying to get that lengthened position really long through the leg. And back in, opposite side, rock in, exhale long and low. We're making a lovely bicycle movement, painting that back wall, a lovely stroke down the wall and up and down without rocking that back and the pelvis in there and lowering right here. So keep the ribs and the pelvis in, work with connecting on stabilizing the whole body. Breathe in, exhale, breathe in, exhale. So the out breath is nice and controlled, ribs down, good, stable core, belly button pulling in, pelvic floor. We'll do 2 more, flow with the movement. Again, this one, a good 8 or 10 is really good on each side and back in. And when we're going to come down. Now we're going to change it up a little bit. Last exercise to really change how the hip's working for us. Now, come up into tabletop with that right leg. Now we're going to breathe in to lower, exhale to scoop and lift. Inhale, exhale. Good scoop. Again, about 1 inch or 2 off the floor. If you need to make it simpler, don't lengthen the legs so much. See how the hip's performing. Keep good connection. Okay. A nice beginner movement. We're just working one leg at a time. Just strengthening the hip and the connection with core. And working that scooping action. Now 1 more. And down. Breathe in. Exhale, pause. Now breathe in, lower. Exhale, scoop. And knee in. And try and flow with breath and movement. We're not rocking the body. We're keeping the ribs down. We're scooping up. Ribs, core connected. Hips are stable. We're not shifting over on one side. I'm going to squeeze 2 more out. Again, 8 or 10, increasing the numbers once we improve. Back in and down. And we can just hug the hip in, hug the knee in, stretch out, allow the pelvis to work in towards us. Ease off, tuck in again, stretch out the hip. Good, nice and steady. And then we just come round to the side. Come back up, take a moment, don't go too heady. And on this exercise as well, what we can do is we can come round to all fours. And we've worked the hips quite well there, so I suggest just have a little stretch into this position, pelvis forward. Just hold, okay? So just going to keep position, knee driving towards the second toe. Pelvis forward, lengthen spine, feel the stretch. Good 12 seconds, 15 seconds, release. Opposite side, pelvis in, stretch out the hips. Should have a good connection with all that leg work for the core and keeping the body down. A good beginner starting exercise before we progress. Okay, and this exercise here we can do 2 or 3 times. Really helps with the hips to stretch out once we've worked there. And again, with the progressions on those ones, once we get strong enough and we have good connection, we can start working with both feet and legs off the floor. But see how you go. Remember, start off with just roughly 6 or 8 to get a good connection and warm through. And then we'll start going into the 10 on each leg and strengthening those areas and working harder for that core connection. Firstly, to stabilize the pelvis, okay, and actually protect that lower back and that spine, and keeping the breath connected with every movement and every flow through lengthening of the limb. Okay, have a go, enjoy, got more to come. Thank you.